24 different players have represented Leeds United this season, and I've gone through and ranked every single one of them from worst to best. Drop your list in the comments. Starting off with the first few, who have all been kind of anonymous. At 24, it's Sam Barham, only the 5 appearances for him, and he's obviously leaving in the summer. And then at 23, what was the point in this loan spell for Facundo Buonanotte? At 22, it's Jack Harrison, who obviously left on loan in January to Fiorentina, who was nowhere near good enough in the first half of the season. And then just missing out on the top 20, at 21st, it's this man Sebastian Bornau, who's nowhere near good enough in my opinion. 20th is then Joel Perreault, who's clearly not Premier League quality, not a single goal in the league, just 1 cup goal this season, not good enough. And then at 19, I've got Dan James. And 18, I've got Willy Gnonto. 2 wingers who clearly have a lot of pace about them. They've got something about their game, but they've been nowhere near good enough this season. 17, I've gone with Ilya Gruev, meh. And 16, Lucas Perry, again, meh. I thought that Shaw Longstaff would be a really good signing for Leeds United, but he's not quite really made his mark on the squad. He's kind of just a rotation option, not really a starter whatsoever, so 15th for him. I'm then going to whack Lucas and Metrin at 14th. I think he's a really tricky one to rank because he has got 10 goal involvements this season, which isn't tragic, but when I watch him, I just think he's really, really poor. I then think Carl Darlow at 13th is probably about fair. He's had some really good games, but he's had some really shaky ones as well. And then from this point on, I think every player can probably leave the season with their head held high. At 12th, it's Joe Rodon. Not my kind of player, but obviously he plays a lot of minutes for them. He's solid enough. Just missing out on the top 10 is a man who's really improved as the season's gone on. I think at the start of the season, he was kind of disappointing. I expected him to be really, really good, and he sort of showed that a bit more in the latter end of the season, and that's Ao Tanaka. Into the top 10 now, though, and at 10th, I'm going to go with Brendan Aronson, a guy who I really like to watch. I think he's really easy on the eye, but he doesn't quite have that end product. If he can have that end product, I think he could be some player. And then at 9th is another player who's really grown into the season well, and that's James Justin. 8th, you can echo the same sort of thing, grown into the season really well. Noah Okafor had a really good spree of goals about a month ago, didn't he? And at 7, I mean, he's Leeds through and through, isn't he? Pascal Struijk. He's been there for years now, and he's been very, very solid every single season, really. 6, I don't know if this will be a surprise. I don't know if this will be an unpopular one, but I actually think that Jakob is a very, very capable centre-half and has done a real good shift this season for Leeds. They're going to have the 2 full-backs in at 5th and 4th. 5th, Jayden Bogle, and 4th, Gabriel Gudmundsson. I think these are really, really underrated. I think both very, very capable full-backs. I would just about have Gudmundsson ahead of Bogle, but both of them have been fantastic. But then into the top 3, and at 3rd, I'm going to go with Anton Stack. 20 million for this guy is an absolute steal. He's been absolutely brilliant for this Leeds United side, hasn't he? What a player. And I think a lot of people would probably have Calvert-Lewin number 1. I'm not going to quite have that. I think I'm just going to have him number 2. But signing him on a free, an amazing, amazing bit of business. He's been fantastic. He's got, 15, 16 goals this season. Fair play. But for me, arguably the most underrated player in the Premier League right now, certainly up there anyway, and in my opinion, Leeds' player of the year, is this man Ethan Ampadu. I think every single time I watch Leeds United, he's arguably the best player on the pitch. Puts in an absolute shift in the DM role. He's also played centre-back sometimes. A fantastic player. But let me know what you think in the comments. How would you rank every single Leeds United player this season? I'm not a Leeds United fan, so this is just from a neutral point of view. So let me know what you think I've got right and wrong. And follow along because we're doing every single club, so it's Liverpool in a few days.